Each enemy is more powerful than before, only with true mastery of it.
They're dropping reactants. Use it to crack open the bellows. Keep fighting. Look for more reactants.
Hello and welcome. This is Crypt, and today we're making a guide on Kullervo and specifically a build for his Keratinos here. It's a claw weapon that we have. I was requested this by one of my viewers, Call Mesa 6937, and it's been an interesting little challenge. There's been some changes to the character since I first posted another video of mine, so we'll go over that, and we'll go over the frame real quickly. So to start off here, just to kind of look at Kullervo himself, let's go into abilities here. So Kullervo's passive here is that he boosts heavy attack efficiency by 75% and has 100% faster heavy attack wind-up speed. Meaning it makes it very easy to get 90% efficiency, allowing you to keep from having your combo meter drain out on you, which is important because all of this stuff is very much melee based. Next we have his Wrathful Advance. This is a subsumable ability. This right here is the bread and butter of his DPS, in my opinion. Not to say that other moves don't really ramp it up, but this is what he's about right here. That 362% melee critical chance is not a 362% of what's he has. That's added onto it. So it's that tacked onto whatever you already had for a crit chance on your weapon. And then it has a duration, of course, afterwards, to make it so you can do fast attacks in between if you like. The range is how far you can teleport. It's shortened when you're doing the helmet, but no worries. Recompense. As you can read that stuff, it does a lot of things. So basically, to sum it up, that's kind of your heal move. It's also your anti-status move. So with Overguard now, it prevents status effects from happening. So you use that as status immunity, essentially. And kind of like what the tips will say on this too, you can use it before you jump into a group or if you're around a group. You can even use it as a last-ditch heal. Just try not to use it when there's no enemies around at all, just because it does turn on you. That health drain is how much per dagger you'll lose in Overguard or health if you let it hit you. Anyways, let's see here. So two of the important moves here, because I'm going to tell you, generally with this build, you're going to use everything. Like, I've tried using helmets on them and stuff, but just to continue on real quick, what we're going to go to is going to go to Collective Curse. Now, Collective Curse is basically, it almost feels like a cone in front of you. It seems to need line of sight. Damage redirection that it causes, basically when you hit one of them that are chained, all of them will take that hit and damage. They won't get the status effect, but they'll take the damage from it. If one person's taking damage from it, or any one of them that are chained. You can get, once you hit 200% power strength, I believe it is, you get the damage redirection at 100%, not 90. But it caps right there. Oh yeah, it is an angle. I didn't even see the 65% angle. So yeah, it's a cone in front of you. The range on that really doesn't need to be as far as I have it, especially since it requires line of sight. And I have seen things just not get chained up with it. But the range is there to help a little bit with this, and so that you can teleport farther. But mainly here, for the last move, the Storm of Ukko. Now, generally speaking, from what I've seen other people do, this is the move that they helmet off or like nourish or something. Once his Augment came out, I tried using this with the Augment, and it actually is a beautiful combination, and I will show you guys that. But that is why I jacked with the range, to make it the Storm Ukko actually be able to cover a nice little area. But moving on, now that we've gone over the frame real quick, we've gone over the frame. We're gonna have the Keratinos. Let's see here, just so that you guys know what this actually looks like. It's these things right here, the Keratinos, little infected claw things. All right, just to go over different things real quick before I go back into, actually no, we'll start with the Warframe here. Okay, so we're gonna start with the Warframe. Ignore the names. I actually spent all of yesterday going through all these again and retesting some stuff because things have changed, and this is not the original setup I had. But this is a better setup, all in all. I tested the old one versus the new one. I actually used to have a Mecha Empowered build, which is decent, but all honesty, in the higher stuff, you're just moving too fast for that. So, over here, we have Dreamer's Bond. You can replace this whatever the hell you want. This is just what I have in there. Obviously, you do more damage if you put, what the heck is it? Not Brief Respite because you have no shields, but Ready Steel is, maybe not Ready Steel, honestly. That's not what I wanted. Steel Charge, there we go. Steel Charge would potentially give you more damage and everything, but no worries there. He does a good chunk of damage. As you can tell, it's a health frame only, but he's a good chunk of health, a good chunk of armor, And the energy is kind of low, and that's perfectly fine with the way it works. With a Hunter Adrenaline setup, he's always gaining energy, so it's not a big deal. Let's see here. So to start off, like I said, you can change off that. The Cunning Drift here, just for the range. The Arcane Stretch, obviously for the range, but we went with Archon because of energy economy. And I don't have anything that channels, so I'm always able to regenerate energy. It doesn't cancel any of them. So we invested in that. Now, I understand that my build is a double Umbral build. You do not need to do that. Obviously, you could change this out with, you know, one of the intensifies and, you know, put a, you know, whatever you wanted here. Maybe adaptation instead of fiber, you know, and just a regular health, or even just keep this one here for health, depending. You know, you can definitely make some changes there. I, as you can tell, am not running adaptation. Let's see here, but continue on. We have Hunter's Adrenaline here. You're always either having damage taken to Overguard, but you have no shield, so it should activate things like Hunter Adrenaline. And it'll make the pet's damage be a little higher, but really that's minuscule. That's just, yeah. But the heal, I mean, not the heal, but the damage giving you energy really helps with the energy economy. In reality, the biggest reason why we have an energy economy issue is this move right here. Okay? That is the move that causes us the biggest issue, energy economy, because it costs 75 to cast. You think it's this, but we can have that up 24/7, and we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so on to the next one. Augur Reach. Obviously, we do not get the shields when we cast spells because we have no shields, or skills, I mean. But another 30% range. So with those three together, that gives me the 190% range that we have there, allowing me to have the 19-meter radius on the Storm of Ukko. Just to kind of show that real quick, how big that is. Let's see here. Some wrong buttons. So, as you can see, the edge of that is out there. I was standing there, that would have been center, so it's that to probably way back beyond where I can even see here. Yeah, it's somewhere in this wall here. So, as you can tell, though, it's pretty big. Okay? Let's see, maybe if I did it like right here, we can get a better view. Yeah. So you can kind of tell, yeah, look at that, all the way out there. Obviously, it doesn't cover an entire map, but it covers a really good area. When this comes down, it's going to stagger people, and it's also going to cause bleed procs. Okay, that's the Storm of Ukko right there. All right, so, which I didn't go over when I was first talking about Kullervo, but we went over it now. It does decent amount of damage with the bleed procs, but it also builds your combo meter when it hits enemies too, so that's important, by the way. Alright, so just to go back into him real quick to continue going over Prime Continuity for more duration, so it's easier to have a longer duration than this, and the second effect on there, which is part of my mod, also gets the bonus duration. It doesn't really matter here, you don't need that longer duration on this. Duration doesn't affect that, and it helps some with this, depending on how you're running. Let's see here. Then obviously I just have life, and, you know, armor. And then the Storm of Ukko, so this is the Augment mod that came out for Kullervo. Storm of Ukko Augment, Wrathful Vance moves to the Storm of Daggers to the teleportation location and increases its duration by 6 seconds. Man, I don't know why that turned into a tongue twister. So basically what that means, okay, is I'm going to kill the enemies. I'm going to simulate this, right? I'm going to stand way over here and cast my Storm. Okay? Then I'm going to see that guy and teleport there. And now my Storm is going to drop down on him. And like I said, doesn't necessarily do the greatest damage, but it's giving constant staggers. It's killing them, and they all die from it. It's just a couple seconds of no real effort. And if you look, I also now have a 12 times combo counter multiplier. That's, like I said before, important. Alright. So, real quick with the two other weapons, because we don't really need to, because we've gone through, oh, there was one other thing we forgot about with Warframe. So I have Molt Augmented for the extra power strength that allows me for the 100%. That's how I reach the 100% redirection. I believe, based on my testing, what was it? It was at about approximately 97 kills. I hit 100% on the share. So once you're up 97 stacks for the Molt Augment, which is nothing, you'll have 100% share. Let's see here. And then obviously that'll also increase the damage from this and its bleed procs, and it also increases the amount of overguard you can get from here, as well as the health you can gain from hitting people in the overguard cap and whatnot, and the damage. But of course, again, the damage is meh. Even if it is a slash proc, that's not very good. It also increases the melee combo counter chance here, and it puts me well over 400 by the time that's capped out. Like, so essentially, if I remember correctly, I end up sitting just about 500% when you combine this maxed out with the Keratinos that I have right now. So it does 5 times crit almost all the time. But anyways, we'll move back to that in a second. So that's the multi-augmented, and we have the Arcane Blessing. I've tried a few different things, including Steadfast on this, but this one seems to overall be the best. It gives you the extra survivability. It brings you up to about 4,500 life, which when you're using Loyal Companion, I think it is, mod from your pet, will actually means you'll get a damage reduction at about 75% extra damage reduction, about 1,200 life, which is pretty good. All right, just to go through the 2 weapons real quick, and then the pet, and we'll go over things with the Keratino. So real quick, we have the Rhoda. My weapons suck. These 2 weapons, they're not set up really for anything good. I'm not really, I'm more of a melee guy anyways, so I don't really shoot often, and these wouldn't be the weapons I'd want to mainly shooting. But I have this one on here because it's a signature weapon. It increases his combo duration by 7 seconds when held by Kullervo, which is huge. Combined that, and that's combined with the primary dexterity, which is another 7.5 seconds. So essentially, because of the 2, this weapon alone gives me a 14.5 seconds of combo duration, which means I can hold that duration from room to room and everything else if I need to. I'm not losing combo counter at all, especially with Gnarlman's, just to show you in case you don't, power spike, keeping it only losing 5 even if the timer does run out. Just as a note, real quick, we'll show, I think I'm sitting at, with the current setup, I'm going to be sitting at, I sit at 27 seconds before I lose any combo. All right. Oh, and just as a note, I made this as armor piercing, basically, so that's why it's heavy corrosive, heavy heat, just to kind of rip through armor when I have to use a gun. And this one here, honestly, it just happened to be the one I have on them. There's definitely better weapons out there. I made a magnetic heavy because the overguard thing and shields, which is a slash heavy frame, so sometimes shields can become an issue. I seem to have the biggest issues with Corpus because of that. But anyways, obviously you can tell I don't have everything maxed out, but this is just my setup on it. The main things to note are going to be the Karna's Stinger. Killing an enemy with a heavy attack reduces enemy accuracy against the Warframe for 20 seconds and grants immunity to status effects for 4. So even if you teleport, your invincibility from the teleport ends, and you kill the guy with a heavy attack, you'll still get status immunity for the next 4 seconds, and things will be less likely to hit you anyways. That's the main thing to be noted on that, plus the secondary dexterity. Now, when I say invincibility frames, I realize I forgot to mention that when you activate this, you get invincibility frame until the heavy attack is finished, and that's important. We'll get to that again. Oh, and I guess there's an invincibility frame, I think, right when you start this one up too, but it's like a second. I almost forgot about that one. Let's see. So those obviously, as you can tell, are just kind of like stat sticks for me. You could probably do without the Ruda when it comes to the combo count, but and change out these weapons to something way better suited to you or whatever you're doing. Let's see here. And now we have the Keratinos, right? Oh, before we do the Keratinos, let's go over the pet real quick. The reason why I'm saying this is because the pet explains a couple things. So, first off, we're using one of the sister dogs here, okay? And we've got this on here, like I said, about 1,200 HP. You're going to get that damage reduction, and the pet's going to become invincible for 10 seconds. Now, at 1,200 HP, that's actually decent to survive with because it's higher than most frames, plus you have the really high armor. And the cooldown can be reduced with Manifold Bond, which kills something more than 3 status effects, and it'll reduce all the pet's cooldowns, which is important because that includes his little synergized prospectus here, which is going to be a floating ball that hits the enemies, giving electric procs, and Repo Audit, which sends out a big magnetic pulse that disarms everyone with guns. Now, it may not seem very good. Oh, and I have this one too, so that when my pet causes damage, it gives him a chance for health orbs. So I drop a lot of health orbs from this. This is just to help revival speed. This obviously because I'm tanky, so I made him tanky because you have to have it, vacuum. And this, honestly, just because it gives me a good way to heal the pet without having to worry about it, especially since I'm melee, mainly melee to begin with. But the reason this all comes together, though, is right here. The Manifold Bond. Companion preset mods apply status effects from companion weapons. Okay? What that means is every status effect that is possible on your weapon for this guy or pet or sentinel, whatever you're doing, is added to any of their preset mods. Preset mods are the ones with that little tiny symbol right here. Hold on, move here. See how it says precept? Any one of these mods. Now, what that means is that when this hits, or even this, which does no damage, is just one big, giant 30-meter pulse, it puts on magnetic or shock like it would normally, and radiation, viral, electricity, impact, and puncture, all at the same time. Which means in one pulse, he can, one pulse or lightning thing, he can proc more than 5 different status effects, 5 unique status effects at the same time with his abilities. Causing him to do electricity damage with his abilities, especially with this one, which procs Arcane Stretch for the energy regeneration. And since we're moving into the Caratinos now anyways, it also procs Condition Overload for 5 instant stacks. Okay, so here we go. We are into the Caratinos. Okay, so the build looks weird, I know. And the viral is actually only there because that is innate on the weapon itself. Let's see. Heavy attacks with 12 times... So this is the unique effect of the Caratinos. And remember how I said we made hit 12 times combo multiplier and we were able to hold it and everything? That means we can set up a 12 times combo multiplier, heavy attack again in the next room or whenever, and then I'll have 3 minutes of a 2.8 meter range to all my melee attacks, putting my range from 4.7, which is actually pretty good for claws to begin with, up to a 7.5. I have a 7.5 meter attack range at all times, essentially, with this build. And I'm going to continue on the rest of the stuff in just a second, but just consider that. So that's, this is with the 4.5, and then it'll move up to the 7 stuff, and all those things have, like, reach, almost like a spear in front of me, right? What's really nice, in all honesty, though, is you can get that 360 because the first of the 2 heavy attacks on the claws is this. Not only do you spin in a 360, meaning the 7.5 meter attack is all around you at the same time, giving you essentially a 15 meter attack range, but you can also move during it. Now, that was huge because when I showed on a little short, using the Caratinos, you used to be able to move with it, but they have recently made some sort of change to where after you activate it, you are locked into place until you're finished with the attack. I don't know why they decided to go about that, but due to the long duration on your first ability, even if that's true, you can move into a couple regular attacks afterwards if you want, and just wipe out the whole crew like a lawnmower. Let's see here. Obviously, I didn't have the full range there because, I didn't have the 12 times combo when I did that, but back to the Caratinos. So, Vermilion Storm, Spitting Slashes caught my attention. I don't know the details about it, but I just like that one. Dispatch Overdrive. As you can tell, I'm using shotgun, but I have a decent speed because every time I do a heavy attack, which means anytime I do the one like the lawnmower that was moving around there move, or when I do it with his Wrathful Advance, I will automatically have a 60% movement speed bonus for the next 15 seconds. Though really I only get to experience 13 of them due to the fact that I'm stuck in, spot when I'm using the Wrathful Advance now. It's an unfortunate change that they did, and I really enjoyed the way it was before, and I think you all would have too. Let's see. We just have melee exposure on here since I'm hovering over it anyways. That's my Arcane. You very easily hit the max stacks on that. I need a better one, but it wouldn't raise the main damage. It would just allow you to ramp it up quicker. It does take over as the damage factor on this weapon to a degree, but I'm going to tell you, you still end up proccing those slosh procs on enemies very, very often with this build, so there's no worries there. We have Weeping Wounds here to help build that status chance well over 100% in the end. Focus Energy here is just so that you have a high combo count all the time, so that's easy to keep that and do heavy attacks. We have Focus Energy here for the heavy attack efficiency. I only need 1 extra source of heavy attack efficiency, and this, fit the bill. This allows me to do my heavy attacks and lose almost nothing on my combo counter. And with even if I'm at, let's say, 220 hits, and I do a heavy attack, right, bringing me from a times 12 down to well, less than that because that's max. And to use what 40%, to be 10% at that point. So I would lose 22 hits. That is what would come off my bar. So that would bring me down to 188. I mean 198 on my combo counter, and only 198, even though I just did a heavy attack. Now with the Storm of Ukko going and everything, you can easily build that back up to 100%. I mean, not 100%, but 12 times combo multiplier. The electricity, just because, yeah, there is a second option if you wanted to go with it. I forget what it's called. Oh, is that it? Yeah. Focus Radon is a potential option if you want to do it that way. You don't have to follow my mod setup, but this one also gives you the heavy attack efficiency. But I kept this one on to mix it with this to give me magnetic, seeing as how magnetic now not only helps me with the shields, like I said, I'm slash focused, so shields are kind of a hamper, but it also helps with overguard and shit like that. And plus it's got that force magnetic proc now, which is fantastic. But anyways, just to continue moving on, we have prime pressure point. It's honestly just the better one to use over the sacrificial steels for what I'm doing, because of the fact that, as you can tell here, even though I'm using Organ Shatter, I did not put anything into crit. There is no reason to put anything to crit on this weapon. You cannot make that number big enough to be worth the mod investment. You rely solely on Kullervo to give you a crit multiplier. So then and obviously as you can tell, my mods are not all maxed out. We have Condition Overload, as we've already mentioned. We can put on statuses like nothing. Your pet primes everything for you beautifully, disarms them, stuns them, plus you're stunning them. The crowd control is very nice. Carnus Mandible. This is how we get the second stack of it, so we can have that immunity thing. Plus it adds heavy to the slash effect, so that allows us to have heavy slash in there. So as you can see, the percentage is 30 and 17. Now the corrosion hits in there too, but with the weeping wounds, we easily start building many stacks at once. Amalgam Organ Shatter. At first you might not think, why would you put the Amalgam on? But with the 100% bonus from Kullervo, but I'm going to tell you, I enjoyed it better with the faster one. I used to have Killing, the hell is it, Killing Strike or Killing Blow on over here, and just ran the electricity. And this one, the regular Organ Shatter, but the small hit to the damage is such a minimal loss versus being able to do things a little bit faster in this game. Then we have this, of course, for a little bit more status, but mainly so that we can make the magnetic status on our weapon. And then Prime Reach. So that way we have the 4.7 meters, seeing as how it's got such a small reach to begin with. And the idea is to try to hit as many of the targets when you teleport in with when you've got them chained together as possible. So that way multiple targets are proccing that same damage again on all of them together. So it's important to have that big range. So that's my Keratinos there. Just to show Narman again, in case anyone's looking at what I got. Again, I do not have everything maxed out. And as you can see, I'm still missing some of the carryover moves too. But Naruman's just nice for stability, so you don't have to worry about your combo. Now, just to kind of show you some stuff, let's see here. As you can tell, I always have this in Steel Path. The enemy level here, I think they capped me at 205 right now. Yep. So these are actually probably one of the hardest things for me to deal with. Let's go over there. So we're at a 1x combo counter, right? We're going to go like this. We're going to go like that because I didn't mean to catch them all the way over there. And then we're going to do that. And actually, my damage lowered because a lot of them died. But as you can tell, without any real effort at all, we were able to take them down. And as I mentioned, these are the hardest ones. Steel Path, Eximus. And the reason I'm using Eximus is so they can stack all their buffs together to really see what it's, what I'm dealing with. So give me a second here. Just to kind of show some other stuff, let's go with the heavy gunners. I think they're the toughest ones in that unit. Hold on, I gotta kill the enemies, clear the board, hit the heavy gunner, hit 20. We're gonna go simulate again. So as you can tell, we're gonna cast this, which is just gonna stay on, right? We're gonna go like that, chain them together. Once they're chained together, you just attack. There's my 12 times combo multiplier, and that's me hitting all of them. And for the next 3 minutes, they should have a range increase. Though, weirdly enough, I'm going to tell you, hold on, we're going to summon someone else here. Let's go with, let's go with Ancient Healer ones. Because they have damage reduction buff. So, unfortunately, for some unknown reason, I can't seem to get the Keratinos to show me that it's got the buff active on the bar. I kind of wish there was a buff on the bar. Yeah, as you can see, instantly deleted 20 like just deleted 20 Eximus defense units in Infested. Infested will be crushed every time you do it. Here, let's go with the Atomizer. These guys are pretty tough, right? So they got hit by the initial thing that's still left. Go with that. And goodbye. They're all dead. So that's just to kind of reiterate here. That's Steel Path, level 205 enemies. Eximus units and everything gone in a blink of an eye. Hold on. Let's go one more round here. We'll go with the Corrupted Heavy Gunner. And then I think we need to start showing some actual gameplay experience here. But just to show one more time, you pop that up. You can do this. I'm only at a 9 times combo multiplier. And as you can tell, they're all dead. And that's all you do. And then you can just teleport. Like, hold on, let me see something if I can beat it. So if you look closely or rewind the video, you can see that you can see it now too. My timer on the storm, it keeps dropping down, but it's actually back up to 21 seconds now. And that is kind of all you'd have to do to keep maintaining it or work it back up. You can even cycle, which is kind of what I would suggest, is cycle between teleporting and doing your normal attacks. So you teleport here to get the main target, and you go like this, just sweep right through your enemies. Now, that was all done without, by the way, my collective curse, like, whatsoever. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you stop here, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the build. Please have fun with Kullervo. He's got a lot of different options. I like his full kit. Like I said, a lot of people like to helmet this off for Nerge or something like that. I've tried helmeting this one off for Nerge because I have a tendency to forget to use it. But it doesn't work very well. Well, it works, but not very well. It's just good energy economy. The mecha build is definitely a viable one. It'll make you feel a little like Varuna, spreading all the statuses and whatnot. But I do hope you enjoy them. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over my Archon shards real quick. So as you can see, I do not have them maxed in yet. This one is for health regeneration. He's a full health frame. I know that seems like a pitiful amount of health regeneration, but having some form of constant healing has always been invaluable to me, no matter how small it seems. As long as there's some form of it. This right here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with a... it's either going to be a duration mod or the equilibrium mod, but based on my energy economy so far, I said mod, but in crystal, I think I'm honestly going to end up going with one of the reds as duration. And then these two will probably be power strength, just to increase my overall damage from all these right here. Let's see here. But thank you again for joining me, and we're going to leave you with some gameplay here. Peace. So what we have here is Murmur, Omni's survival mission. As you can tell right now, I'm actually not even casting my collective curse. I'm just using my Wrathful Advance. Like I said, I miss being able to move around like that using it, but as you can tell, you can still kind of do the Lawnmower move. The thing to note about the claws, the reason why I haven't sped up the speed on it anymore. If you notice my invincibility frames as I'm playing, they last until I finish my heavy attack. So that is part of the reason why I don't speed it up. Plus, it gives me longer time to go down hallways like that. Just awesome. That was the right one. Awesome. That just worked out for us. So yeah, collective curse though, and then do that, and voila. And as you can see, you know, my energy got a little low from just spamming it, but, you know, I took a hit. Not even, like, thought about my overguard yet. These guys aren't really hurting me. Keep doing that. Necromech being released. So we'll get to play with that a little bit here. Oh, apparently I stopped it. As you can see, I'm just raining down hell here with this slash procs, just killing everything as they come into the area. You know, this is that's a 4 million damage hit that I just did to someone, a lot, 500,000 damage stuff. Things aren't even really changed or anything. Outside of that one little pin that took us there, even not even using any of my other stuff, like just sitting here doing this. the regular guys are still kind of going down. But we're going to go back into this, cast our recompense, do this, do that. So there we go. As you can see, we can take down a prophet like he's nothing. Steel path. Necromac. Okay. And even the Necromac is actually getting kind of torn apart by that, in all honesty. Here, let's zip some stuff together. Seeing as that the Necromac's here. Boom. He's dead. And then where is he? See? And then we can easily take out a prophet because for the entire heavy attack, the boosted heavy attack, I'm immune. So he can do whatever he tries, but it still isn't going to stop me. Good. I really like mixing the Caratinos with it. Having that huge attack range is so cool when it comes to the Caratinos. You know, it's all really, really nice. But anyways, enjoy and peace.